Vintage shopping in Florence can be overwhelming if you don't know the tea. You walk into a shop, pick something up, get all excited, and then the doubt creeps in. Is this quality? Is it overpriced? Am I actually holding something special, or am I about to buy junk? It happens. Here's what nobody tells you. Vintage shops in Florence are not all the same. Each one has its own speciality. Some are brilliant for bags, others for shoes. Some are eye-wateringly pricey. If you want to skip the bad experience and go straight to somewhere tried, tested, and generally wonderful, stay with me. Welcome back, or if you're new here, benvenuta. I'm Sofia, and this is Florence Fashion Insider, where I show you fashion from my city, Firenze. Today, I'm taking you inside one of my absolute favorite vintage stores. It's a store I've shopped many times. The owner is warm, the curation is beautiful, and on the rails you'll find pre-loved Gucci, Moschino, Pucci, YSL, and more. The kind of pieces that deserve a second life. This shop is vintage shopping bliss. Let me show you Celeste Vintage. Celeste Vintage is heavenly if you love colourful silk scarves, very Audrey Hepburn, expressive jewellery that actually makes a statement, and elegant ladylike pieces, shoes, bags, full outfits. You could genuinely walk in and walk out dressed head to toe. Any age can shop here and find something that feels like it was made for them. I've walked past this piazza near Palazzo Pitti more times than I can count, and every time I slow down here. Not because the shop is loud, actually the opposite. The woman who built it is a little like that too. When Celeste was 15 years old, she found a Prada bag buried beneath a pile of discarded things at a market stall in Italy. The kind with the silver chains. She paid €5 for it. And strangely, I think that story explains almost everything about this shop. Back then, nobody called it vintage. These were simply old things, used things most people walked past without looking twice. Her friends noticed. Laughing, she told me, I was like the little dog hunting for a truffle. They would leave empty-handed. She would come home with treasure. Not because she was lucky, because she had the eye. When Celeste opened her shop here in Florence, almost nobody thought it would work. Today, vintage is everywhere. But at that time, Florence had barely any vintage boutiques at all. The idea felt uncertain, even strange. People didn't really understand why someone would dedicate themselves to old clothing when the city was already filled with luxury fashion. But she believed it. And over time, the city changed around her. Vintage became fashionable, then desirable, then everywhere. But this place still feels different because it was never built around trends. It was built around the passion of Celeste for vintage clothes. She told me that years ago she still found clothing from the 1940s and 50s regularly. Entire wardrobes still existed then. Now those generations are disappearing. But with them, the garments that, I think, is what really vintage preserves. And shops like Celeste Vintage keep those stories alive. Maybe that's why this neighbourhood suits it so perfectly. Just steps away from Palazzo Pitti, where Italian fashion first introduced itself to the world in the 1950s. I've been to many vintage shops, and not all of them have the eye. Hers was built slowly, at market stalls, long before vintage became fashionable, and you feel it the moment you walk inside. Nothing feels because you are not simply shopping, you are seeing the world through someone else's eye for beauty. The same eye that many years ago spotted a Prada bag beneath a pile of forgotten things and understood its value long before everyone else did.
Another love, show me another love. This can't be the only one out there waiting for me. Stop, control the fire, let it burn.
plan anything better? We're not planning anything. We're just like, what?
And the prices, I've shown you them in the video. They're fair. There are vintage shops in the city that are overpriced, in my opinion. Celeste is not that, trust me. What you won't find: jeans, t-shirts, cowboy boots, or chunky knits. The vibe here is elegant, colorful, expressive, a little maximalist. If that's your thing, this vintage shop is your place. You'll feel right at home. In the little Piazza Felice, generally one of the prettiest spots to end up in. She's open every day, and Celeste herself, no buy energy if you want to browse without buying. Zero pressure, just good taste and good company. Now, I'm curious. How do you vintage shop? Are you a woman on a mission, hunting for something specific, or do you buy off the cuff when something tickles your fancy? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to know. Drop a hat below if this was useful, and send it to a friend who'd appreciate a genuinely good Florence vintage tip. They'll thank you. Now, you know where to find heavenly vintage shopping near Palazzo Pitti. If you've loved this video, you'll want to watch this one too. It's about an independent fashion shop in Borgo Pinti. Mrs. Macy's, alla prossima, bacini, Sofia.
Sì, ora un'altra cosa che vince è sempre fare una cosa in 5